Hey, listen!
Welcome everyone, this is Andre's Restart, and we need to talk about Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Future Redeemed for several reasons. This wasn't going to be the planned video for today. We got the trailer late last night and it was very surprising, at least to me. And there's things here that I felt I should be talking about. I think there are some implications for other bigger Nintendo announcements to come afterwards early on to this summer, given that they're pushing this out so early. But also I wanted to put out my own analysis on the trailer and some theories as to what may be going on when we get this game later next week. So this is going to be more of a quick, simple edited discussion, so just sit back and relax. But before we jump into things, let me point out that we are aiming to hit 25,000 subscribers by the time Tears of the Kingdom comes out on May 12th. So if you do enjoy my content, please subscribe and hit the notification bell, because then we might just make it. So when it comes to the early release date for this DLC and how it's unexpected and what it might mean for the future, I want to say that we were expecting it to come out soon. We had gotten news that the entire soundtrack for Xenoblade Chronicles 3, including Wave 4 tracks, would be coming out July 29th, which would have spoiled the Wave 4 story. So many of us believed that this DLC story would be coming out before then by some level of time, and we thought June made a lot of sense because it's an open slot, there's nothing in June. But instead, Nintendo has just given us this trailer seemingly out of left field, at least for me, and it's coming out a week after Advance Wars and just a couple weeks before the release for Tears of the Kingdom. It's coming out in a time that's pretty dense with Nintendo information and news. We just got the Mario movie not that long ago. We just got the big Tears of the Kingdom final trailer last week. There's actually been a lot of Nintendo news lately. Heck, we even just got the announcement of the Nintendo Live event this September. And also there is the Indie Direct that's coming out as well. So there's a lot of little Nintendo things that are coming out around the same time, or some big things as well. And it just kind of feels like Nintendo's getting out a lot of announcements, maybe in preparation for a bigger event this June, maybe a Direct or something else. We'll talk more about that later this week. But now let's talk about what we're getting for Future Redeemed here. I first just want to point out that the key art for them shows the 6 characters, our party presumably, and they're standing in front of Prison Island, a very important location from Xenoblade Chronicles 1. But also, I might be wrong on this, but it looks like the ruins to the right might be from Tonto, the giant ice turtle Titan from Xenoblade Chronicles 2. There does look to be some ice there, so maybe I'm correct, but we'll see. Moving on to the actual trailer though, we see that 5 of the 6 founder statues are playable, but one of them is a bit of a surprise. So the missing statue that's not playable is Nile. She seems to be the sister for the main character, Matthew, who looks like they're going to lose their way at some point in the story, but will come back by the end given that she is one of the founders. And in her place, we're seeing A being the counterpart to Matthew, because just like in Xenoblade Chronicles 3, it looks like there will be 2 members that kind of work together, and they will complete a total of 6, 3 pairs to make a party of 6. So what's weird about A, there's actually several things. She seems to somewhat resemble Ethel, which is cool, but at the same time, she might also resemble Alvis, and she's wearing a earring that is looking to be kind of like Ontos, the Red Trinity core, and Alvis has the Ontos Red Trinity core, and in the teaser, it almost looked like Rex and Shulk were battling him, and that battle looked to cause injury for both of them. Shulk lost his arm, he now has a mechanical arm, and Rex lost his eye. And now we see them as fully playable in Future Redeemed, which is exciting, but more on them in a bit. Back to A though, what's interesting about her beyond just the earring and her appearance is that given that her name is A, this is sort of answering a question we had about the missing Mobius member. So in Xenoblade Chronicles 3, we had Mobius and we had enemies of the console B through Z, 25 different members. But there was one that was obviously missing, A. And when we got the teaser for Future Redeemed, we were thinking, oh, Alvis, he's an enemy, his name starts with A, maybe he is Console A. and the events of Future Redeemed will take him out of the picture, so that way we don't have to deal with Console A throughout Xenoblade Chronicles 3. That still seems to be the case, but seeing this other character, A, working with our party is a curveball. How this ties to Alvis, how this ties to Mobius, we don't know. I think obviously we'll learn throughout Future Redeemed. But going back to Rex and Shulk, they are fathers, it looks like, or it looks like there are people who seem to be related to their ancestry. So with Glimmer, she looks a lot like Numa or Pyra, and she even has like a Trinity core as well, just like Pyra would. And she seems to have some kind of bond with Rex, which would make sense if Rex is her father. Rex actually has 3 different children from 3 different wives, so I wonder if we'll see any of the children or even Pirate Mithra at some point in this story. But then there's also, seemingly, maybe Shulk's son? He looks very similar as well. He even has the same kind of hair, and he's kind of going more in the direction of being a mechanic, which is what we thought Shulk might do back in Xenoblade Chronicles 1. And they seem to have some type of special relationship as well. So that's also very cool to see. But what's also nice to see is that Nickel and Glimmer seem to be paired up. So the children are paired up, the fathers are paired up, Rex and Shulk, and then Matthew and A are paired up. And I do find it interesting that A has this Monado-like blade that glows. It's very slim, kind of like Lucky 7, but maybe something else. And then Matthew has Monado-like gauntlets, but they are gauntlets. So that's also really neat to see. But what I want to talk about before we close things out here is what I think Future Redeemed is going to do. I think those who are theorizing about a prequel story and those who are theorizing about an epilogue story might both be right. The Xenoblade series has this huge theme on the future and fighting towards it and making it better. And I think the title Future Redeemed, not only is it kind of giving it some similarity to Future Connected, but I also think it is hinting at what's to come. I think they are trying to redeem the future in some way. I think the story will tie up the 3 Trinity cores, but also I think that what's going to happen is that they will not die at the end of this game. I think they're just going to simply be elsewhere. I think they're going to escape the Infinite Now, so that way they won't be playing a role throughout the story of the base game of Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And if they escape the Infinite Now, then their time takes place afterwards. And I think this is supported because we know that Matthew goes missing from the founder statues in the city from the base game. So what happens exactly, that's totally up in the air, but we're going to be finding out pretty soon on April 25th. I'm excited for Future Redeemed, I can't wait to play it, but let me know what you guys think in the comments below. This is Andre's Restart, thank you so much for listening and watching, and I'll see you all really soon. Take care, bye.